let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe,
a man may die. Nations may rise and fall. But an idea lives on.
This is PT-109 to Peleliu. We have contacted enemy vessel 17 yards west. Wait, make that 1,000 yards. Helmsman, hard to port. Rig for collision!
And ever since then, my back just hasn't been quite right.
You know, Mr. Kennedy, I did not figure you would scarcely get past nomination. Now you got a hell of a shot at the presidency. God knows where the party's going.
I didn't think you'd settle for vice.
Now don't get ahead of yourself. This ain't no tea party. Nixon, he'll take half the southern states unless I can scavenge the... Do you know how you pull in Texas alone?
I am aware.
At least I got a good shot for Senator if this all goes belly up.
I do hope you have packed some enthusiasm, Mr. Johnson. We make for Jackson by nightfall.
Everyone is voting for Jack, 'cause he's got what all the rest lack. Everyone wants to back Jack. Jack is on the right track, 'cause he's got high hopes. He's got high hopes. 1960's the year for him.
Good evening. You're watching CBS News. And I will announce the election of Senator Kennedy to the office of President of the United States. This election between Kennedy and Senator Richard Nixon was extremely close, and the votes are still being disputed in some states. However, Kennedy has taken the key states of Texas and Iowa, thus guaranteeing him an electoral majority. Senator Nixon has made a public statement that he will not dispute the results, despite controversy.
They stole the damn election. That rich kid. He just scooped it up from under me. Cocksuckers! Damn! I can't believe it.
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
And will, to the best of your ability,
Hello.
Mr. President, this is General Eisenhower.
Good evening, General.
I figure, now that you are in a position, that I should inform you of the certain subtleties that have been transferred from me now to you.
And what might that be?
Are you familiar with the difficulties we have been facing in the Indochina? Or really, our global struggle against the forces of communism?
You're speaking about Vietnam.
What you must realize is that Reds, we can't quite push them around anymore. They're beginning to match us on every front. Do you know that with China, they outman us? Things are converging, and Vietnam may warrant escalation.
General, I cannot quite be certain that would be an expedient and
I
that
should also inform
simply...
you of my plans developing in that stronghold of indecency, Cuba, to depose the dangerous sympathizer, Castro.
The Soviets, they would go mad. That would be the call to war.
Our faithful CIA has set it up so that we would be clear of direct blame. We've trained the exiles, sent them all back in with some American steel to back them up. All they need from you, Mr. President, is approval to send in air support to clear the beaches.
I'll have to talk to Dulles, I swear.
Good evening. You're watching CBS News. This morning, the United States government officially announced that they have solid evidence that the Soviet Union is in the process of emplacing nuclear-tipped missiles in Cuba. These weapons, if used, have the destructive power to wipe out the entire eastern seaboard.
Well, gentlemen, we have some decisions
Right
to
here.
make. You know the potential consequences of what we're dealing with here. You also know the options we have. With that said, I want to hear your opinions regarding this so we can act quickly.
Mr. President, new intelligence just in. Our U-2 has just been shot down, so now we don't have a choice. This is war. We must invade immediately and neutralize these missile sites.
General, have you lost your wits? We do that, West Germany will be a communist country in a matter of days. Likely a nuclear wasteland. For the sake of mankind, this is simply not an acceptable option.
Bob?
Well, I propose, Mr. President, using the United States Navy to seal off Cuba from the rest of the world. A blockade of sorts. If they're deprived of reinforcement, they'll be less likely to try our hand.
I think we can get an agreement through with the Russians. What about our missiles in Turkey? We were planning on decommissioning those anyway. General, isn't that correct?
Well, yes.
All right, well, I think I know what to do. We shall institute that naval blockade, and I shall attempt to negotiate some sort of missile swap with Khrushchev. If that fails, General, then, and only then, shall we invade. Everyone clear?
Yes.
From Dallas, Texas, The Flash, apparently official. President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
2 o'clock
Eastern
Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
I will do my best. That is all I can do. I ask for your help and God's.
Everyone is voting for Jack, 'cause he's got what all the rest lack. Everyone wants to back Jack. Jack is on the right track, 'cause he's got